This is John McAllister, and I'd like to welcome you to my video podcast tonight around the state. And excited to have a relatively unknown for me uh, on my podcast. His name's Will Smith from Dublin Kaufman High School, and I actually saw him in a camp a few days ago, and I think he's probably 6'3". We'll find out 6'3", 245, but he runs and he can bend and he plays low, and he's a really good prospect. He's only a junior, 23 class, and I'm really looking forward to talking to him tonight. He's Will Smith. How are you doing today? I'm really excited to see you. I saw you at a camp recently, and you look pretty good. And I did a little bit more research, and you looked really good. And then some people said some nice things about you. I will say you're kind of a sleeper because with all the COVID and all those things, it's been different, right? And,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's good. How many camps did you go to this summer?
This summer, I think I went to 6 camps. Yeah.
6 camps. It's important, isn't it, to get
Yeah.
exposure, I think.
It is
And
very.
a lot of positive comments
Mm-hmm.
about
Yeah.
facilities and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk about you first.
All
Okay,
right.
you're Dublin Kaufman. You started playing football in the seventh grade,
Yes, the seventh grade.
and then you like football. We'll talk about that later. But anybody that's kind of been like a pusher for you, or somebody that's kind of encourage you to be the person you are? Anybody that you give credit to?
I'd probably say my mom. I feel like she pushes me to be the person, try to always better myself. Yeah.
Moms are always in charge. You know that, don't you? You might
Yep.
you might think you're in charge, but you know who's really in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, anybody in the pros or the high school or colleges that you kind of look up to and you like or you model yourself after?
Of course, my dad, and then also I like Aaron Donald, just the way he plays. I really like he inspires me to be kind of play like him. Yeah.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I haven't done my homework here. Who's your father?
My father is his the same name as me, Will Smith, and he played for the Saints. He's a DN. He also played for OSU.
Okay, well, see how nice I am. I don't even take that into consideration. I looked at you as you, Will Smith. That's you know. I heard that name and I wanted to joke with you about a comedian with that name or a movie star. I don't think you got it when I talked to you earlier, but
Hmm.
that's really nice too. Okay, anybody, if you were going to give some young person advice about football, let's say a freshman, okay, you were going to give them advice, what would you tell them about football?
You got to be ready to work and got to be ready to play physical and play through the whistle.
Play to the whistle and be physical. What about attitude?
You just got to always be ready to you got to always be ready to give encouragement and always think about your teammates. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And I sometimes freshmen, boy, like that second week in August, that's tough on those guys.
It
Tough
is.
on them a lot. Okay, my first silly question. If
All
you
right.
could trade places with somebody for one day, who would it be? Anybody. And you got to tell me why.
All right. I'd probably trade places with some type of NFL player. So we could go back to like Aaron Donald because I just want to see how they would live their like throughout one day, like how their day would be and what they do, stuff like that.
That's really good. And as you know from a little bit, it's quite a demanding sport, isn't it?
Hmm.
Quite a demanding sport. Speaking of that, do you play any other sports?
At the moment, no. I used to play basketball until freshman year, and then I'm thinking about throwing shot put maybe next year or
Okay,
senior year.
shot put and discus would be good because
Hmm.
I go to track meets and I look for balance and I look for that's in the discus and you look for explosion in the shot. And that sounds really good. You look like you could probably run a pretty good split in a 4x1 too, right? On
Hmm.
100 meters. I bet you could, your third leg, I bet you could do okay in that. The third leg. You don't want to be in the first leg or the
Yeah,
end.
not.
You go, well, no, I'm just teasing you because then you'll lose the lead. But you got third, you got that lead and you'd be tough and compete like that. That'd be really good. That's exciting. Any other sports? Although I thought lacrosse was a big thing for all you guys at Kaufman.
Uh, Often, yeah, a lot of my friends do play lacrosse, but I've never really gotten into that sport.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about academics. Is the classroom, is it pretty good to you? Or is it a foreign object or what is it? How's the classroom?
I say it's pretty good to me. My GPA is a 3.2, so I'm trying to get that up. I took a bunch of honors and AP classes, so it kind of lowered my GPA this year. But next year, hopefully, I can get it up a little bit higher than that.
That's really good, Will. That's excellent. And you know, I preached to guys over the years, and you've probably done that, is study really, really hard your first 2 years, get that GPA up, and then
Mhm.
you know, because there's so much going on now, your junior year and your senior year, and
Yeah.
you know that. But that's really good. Anything you're thinking about majoring in? Any
Um, I was thinking about for college going into like sports medicine or something.
That's good. That's a big field too, by the way. Much,
Mhm.
much needed. Much needed. Second crazy question. What do you do when you're totally by yourself? When there's nobody around, what do you do?
A lot of times I'll listen to music. I just really like listening to music. I listen to music all the time.
Okay, what kind of music you listen to?
I listen to all types of music. I have a bunch of different playlists, and I just sometimes rotate through them.
Okay, well, I probably couldn't interest you in Alan Jackson, right? Country?
I'm not a big country fan. That's one genre.
I'm just joking with you. You know that. Okay, tell me, Uh, what annoys you? What bothers you sometimes? Not irritates you, not that far, but what bothers you?
Something that bothers me a lot of times in practice when people aren't paying attention in drills, and then they end up like messing up the drills. That really frustrates me or like annoys me.
Okay, good. Let's talk football for a little bit.
All right.
Tell me, you're playing defensive tackle. What are your measurements right now?
At OSU camp, I was measured at 245 and then 6'3".
That's really good. Now you don't want to get you add good weight. I think I'd add good weight because you know I watched you. Well, I'll give you my opinion in a minute. Okay.
All
Now
right.
tell me, uh, what are your strengths? What do you consider your strengths?
I would say I'm really quick off the ball, and I'm quick for my size. I feel like, and then I feel like I have good football IQ.
What's that mean?
Uh,
Sounds good. What's that mean?
just like on the field, I feel like I have a good overall understanding of what's going on.
Good. That's true. That's true. What else is a strength for you?
Um, I
Are
feel
you
like
are
speed.
are
That's
you
kind of
tough?
similar. What was that?
Are you tough?
Oh yeah, I'd definitely say I'm tough, and I'd say I'm very aggressive and physical.
Okay. How about what are the things you have to work on?
Strength. I feel like I have to get a lot stronger, and I'm working on that.
But that's the last part to worry about.
Hmm.
Strength, upper body. It's all feet, quickness. I don't know what they call it now. I call it burst. I think, change of direction, all those things.
Yeah.
Here's
Mhm.
what I would tell you. Okay.
Mhm.
I was impressed because you play low and you can bend. Okay. Even when you pursue. And I think I think what's important too, you have good initial explosion. Get out and get your hands in, and what you can do, and a lot of guys can't. As soon as you make that initial contact, then you find the football. You
Mhm.
find the football. Now you'll have to work on change of direction, but
Yeah.
every high school guy does that. I mean, whatever position. So that's not really a knock. You just work those drills where you can boom, boom, go boom, things like that. I'm an old scout, observing talent, so I get carried away
Mhm.
sometimes. But those are the good things I see in strength for sure. But over the winter, and always develop good strength though. Good
Mhm.
strength. Don't. I think people get caught up in trying to look like a big old Tarzan or something like that, and it's all quickness and getting off the ball. You know what I'm saying? It,
Yes, I do.
and I think sometimes the guys that get really strong in their arms can't move because they're they're so stiff. Okay,
Mhm.
I really like you on football, and I'm looking forward to seeing a game. And maybe get down to a 7-on-7. I don't know if you hang around those or not, but
Mhm.
I will. But okay, let's talk about. We talked about improvement. What would you tell a high school football player that's a sophomore that's starting to get recruited? Now, you're just starting to get recruited, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Were there a lot of people, uh, media, and a lot of coaches talking to you much before the summer?
No, there was barely any, I'd say.
Why would that have been?
I feel like a big factor of me starting to talk to coaches was going to camps and stuff. I feel like get my name out there, that was like huge.
Yeah, and honestly, Will, with all this pandemic, it doesn't take a clown to figure this out. There's just so much going on with college coaches and so many things. But I think going to 6 camps was really good for
Mhm.
you. Okay. Uh, let's see. We talked. Is there a top sports moment for you so far? Is there a top time when you'll look back and say, "Boy, I remember my early years. I remember this." Would there be something like that?
Trying to think.
If not, that's okay. Some guys have something big play, or some big victory or something like that. I didn't know if you had anything like that.
I wouldn't. It's not technically in the game, but I'd say when I was like when I first realized I was going to start as a sophomore, and like that was like huge to me, and I was like, yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. You started as a sophomore. That's really good. And what did you learn about starting as a sophomore? What's one thing you took away from that? What did you learn?
I'd say you just realize how big the people are out there and how like much more aggressive and tough you have to actually be, and it's way different than like freshman or eighth grade football or JV.
It's real, isn't it? I mean, it's on the line. It's a little bit different playing that level, but
Mhm.
obviously people have to play that. What would be, let's see, I want to come back with a question there. And I think you learned it was tougher, okay, in playing. And do you have can you relate to this at all? I love guys who are like, they're like Jekyll and Hyde on football. And you seem like this nice guy until you step over the white line. I mean, I coach guys that were nuts like that.
Mhm.
I mean, they were fun and they'd be joking around. And as soon as they stepped on over the white line to come in the game, it was like the switch went off. You seem like that kind of a guy. Can that be? Am I close to being correct or not?
Yeah, I'd say you're pretty close. I feel like I wouldn't be like fully, but I feel like I do tend to become more aggressive and tough on the field than like right now.
Yeah, that's super. I think here I'm preaching to you, but sometimes I think we get caught up in trying to be bad guys, and you don't have to be. You just have to
Hmm.
be tough. You don't have to be a hood, or you don't have to be a bad
Yeah.
guy. Just be tough and compete. And I
Mhm.
think that's really good. Okay, another question for you. I know where I am now. I think I got two left. Here's another. If what what talent do you don't have you and you probably never will get? You like to have, but you probably never will get. What talent would you like to have?
Are we talking about football or just like in?
Oh, anything, anything.
All right. Um,
Like, yeah, can you sing? Can you dance? Can you sing? Can you run 4.5 and 140 yards? Or what talent, what ability would you like to have?
I feel like what I'd always thought would be cool would be able to tightrope. Like, you know how some people do it across like buildings and stuff. I just thought that would be fun. Right.
I laugh because I love to learn new things you guys think about. Learn the tightrope. That's really good. Okay. What Now we talked about that. We talked about improvement and what's one thing that nobody knows about you? That's my last silly question.
Uh,
What's one thing that nobody knows about you?
hmm. Um,
We
um, I really enjoy classic music, like classical music. That's one thing I
I,
enjoy, like
you
listening to.
got a prompter, I think, huh? No, you like that's really good. Classical music. Well,
Hmm.
that's relaxing and stuff like
It
that.
is. Hmm.
Okay, let's talk about, like I say every time, these interviews always go so fast because I enjoy it doing it, number one.
Hmm.
Let's talk about what's one thing that you can't live without. Now, don't say not food and water and pizzas and all that stuff. What's one thing you think you can't live with? You have a hard time living without.
I feel like going back to the music thing. I feel like that would be really hard to live without. I really like listening to music, and I listen to it all the time.
Okay, give me one band.
um,
What
I,
rap?
I
Who's
don't
the Canada, the rapper out of Canada? Rook or somebody like that, or he's kind of
out of Canada,
yeah. I forget.
Drake.
Drake, that's it, man.
Mhm.
Good. Drake, you listen to Drake?
I do all the time.
See, I impressed you with that. I knew about Drake. How's that? Can remember his name. That's really good. Okay, let's talk recruiting and let's talk football just a little bit. With the camps, why would you suggest kids go to camp or players go to camp?
It just really helps, um, show show coaches who you are. I feel like it's a big deal, and it'll get your name out there, and it'll really help.
It will, and you're right. And you'd be surprised. And I work with the college guy coaches, but you'd be surprised at what they say. Boy, they surprised me. That guy surprised me. That guy's better than I thought. Or,
Hmm.
vice versa. That guy's not quite as good as I thought, but we'll watch him. But I think exposure is so important.
Yeah.
And it's not so much, I ran camps and combines, and I don't know, I'll probably never do it again. But I think it's to go to the camps where the decision makers are, where guys can help you
Hmm.
guys that because the coaching profession is such a big network and stuff like that, and it gets around and things like that. You get offered by one school, and you're probably going to get offered by another school right away, and then that builds up.
Hmm.
You see, I'm really impressed with your overall. Uh, I forget. I don't know what word to use, but tell me about offers. Does that affect you at all?
I feel like the offers just push me to get better. I feel like thinking about it, it's like, okay, if I end up going D1, I have to make sure like I can prove myself there. I feel like it motivates me more.
Okay. Okay. And offers are so bogus. They really are.
Hmm.
I did a whole, and when I used to have a website, I did a whole thing on offers, and they're gray offers, they're uh, come to camp offers, or they're finish the season, stay out of trouble offers, and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Last question. Okay, and honestly, I feel really good. See how good I am? I didn't know that Will Smith was your dad. Duh. I didn't know that. Nobody told me. Anyway, uh, why would I recruit you? And I'm more concerned about character, attitude, and things like that. Why would I recruit, and ability? Why would I recruit you?
Hmm. I feel like I'm willing to work and I'm tough and I always like to help my teammates get better.
And you're willing to work, right?
Hmm.
That sounds really good. Well, I really enjoyed the interview. I enjoyed the podcast and it went really well. Okay.
Thank you.
You have a great night. Thank
You
you.